This AI automation system has completely changed the way I make content for Twitter. It allows me to take information from any news article or blog and instantly create Twitter posts just at the click of a button. If you stick around to the end, I'm going to show you how to make this even more powerful and give you even more control over what to post and when. So I'm going to walk you through exactly how the system works and what it does, and then we're going to start from scratch and build it together step by step. So check this out. First thing that we do here is we're grabbing information from a news article or any source. In this case, I'm using the OpenAI blog, which has all the latest up-to-date news on everything that's going on at OpenAI, who of course is the makers of ChatGPT. So from there, we're going to grab the article, and then it goes into this HTTP module, which is really just reading the actual content of the article. And then it's getting parsed out, which means it's taking the information and it's converting it from HTML format to like normal English text. After that, we're going to plug it into Perplexity AI, which is basically like ChatGPT, except it has better access to the internet. So it allows us to get real-time research and updates based on the most current topics and everything that's actually going on right now, so that you know the information is totally current. From there, we're going to create a one-sentence summary using ChatGPT. We're going to then take that information, the research, and the original article, and we're going to create 3 different Twitter posts for us to choose from. After that, we connect all our sources to Airtable, which allows us to really nicely organize everything and for us to get total control over what to post and when. This is the first part of the automation, and there is a second part. So this is actually where the magic happens, because this is the part that allows us to monitor what's happening in Airtable, to register which posts we're rejecting or approving, and then post them to Twitter on a timeline that we set. So let's go ahead and jump right in, and I'm going to build this thing with you. I'm going to show you exactly how powerful this is, and I'm going to give you a few tips along the way to make this super, super crazy powerful. You're going to need a couple things for this. First, you're going to need an RSS account, and RSS is like an incredible site that allows you to basically get a live feed from any sort of news or blog article or even YouTube channels, and basically is a way to monitor everything that's going on in real time. And this is totally free for the first 10 or so feeds that you create. You're also going to need Perplexity, and you're going to want to have some API credits in there. It costs about $5. I've literally been using this all week, and I've spent 2 cents. So this is really not going to break the bank on this one. And then you are going to need a ChatGPT account, which runs about $20 a month, and some API credits there. Again, I loaded the account with like $5 and have barely spent anything. So again, not too crazy expensive. The time it's going to save you is going to be well worth it. So let's jump right in. Let's get started. And the first thing we need to do is create a new scenario. So here we are. I'm just going to go ahead and create a new scenario. And first things first, as always, we want to make sure we name it blog to Twitter. And this is one of 2 because there's going to be a second part to this, as I showed you earlier. The first thing we need to do is we want to come in and we can just type RSS. And you can watch an RSS feed, which means that this will constantly be monitoring this. And if you wanted to set this up to run, you can schedule a time. You can add normal interviews, and you can set this up to run like every day or however you wanted to. And this would just kind of automatically happen if you create the watch trigger. But for the case of this video, I'm just going to create the retrieve figure so that we can run it kind of when we tell it to. I'm going to move my face over here. So in order to actually get this working, we need a URL. So where does that URL come from? Well, we're going to pop on over to the ChatGPT blog or the OpenAI blog, and we're just going to copy the URL, come back over here into rss.app and click new feed. We're just going to paste that URL in there, go ahead and click it, and it's going to generate a new XML link for us so we can go ahead and pop back into make.com. Sometimes it doesn't work. I don't actually know what the deal is with that. We're just going to click it again, and it should work this time. I have no idea why it needs to happen twice, but I'm just going to go ahead and click Save Feed, and then I'm going to copy this link right here and come back over to make.com, head into our RSS panel, paste that link. Now, if you want to, you can set how far back in time to go. Say, okay, we only want posts from the last week or the last month, and make sure that it's really relevant. I'm just going to leave this blank for now. There's like some weird formatting stuff about how to format the dates. I'll leave a link to this page down below so you can see how to format it if you're interested in doing that. Make.com is kind of specific, so make sure that you follow these formatting rules. And just for the purpose of this, we're just going to put 1 for the number of returned items. It's just going to get the most current up-to-date article, but you can make this 2, 5, 10, and it's going to pull as many articles as you give it here based on the timeline. So I'm just going to go ahead and click OK. And if you want, we can right-click and just say run this module only, and it's going to run. And you can go ahead And we can see that we have title, making education data accessible. Here's the URL for it and the source. And here's the URL for it. And great. So this is essentially working. So now if we want to have access to the information in the article, we need to connect this up to an HTTP module. So I'm just going to go ahead down here. You can type HTTP and click get a file. And what do we want to plug in this URL box? So what we're going to do is we're just going to want to take the URL here from the RSS feed. Great. So this registers that. And the last thing we need to do to really have access to all this is we need a text parser. So I'm just going to go ahead and click that. That's right here. And what we want to do is we want to convert HTML to formatted text. And I'm just going to link these up. So now we just do the same thing. Click in here and we can get the data from the HTTP and click OK. And if we want, we can just run this once. Click run anyway, just to have this go through. And you can see we have the article and the URL. And if we come over here, we can see the input is the HTML, but the output is now we have the text of the entire article. And there's so many things we can do with this. It's actually insane. So if we pop back over here to the one that I've already made, the next thing we do is we have this Perplexity AI module. I'm just going to copy this module and come back in here and paste it. But if you want, you can always just click add module, click Perplexity AI. And what we want to do is we want to create a chat completion. So I'm actually just going to go ahead and do that for you. You want to make sure your API is connected. The only thing we need to do here is we're just going to need to add a message. And I'm just going to go back to my original one and come into Perplexity here. I already have this message. I'm just going to go ahead and copy and paste that. And I am starting a school community where I will actually post all the prompts that I use for you to grab if you join the community. So here, I'm just going to go ahead and paste that content. And I'm going to change the role to user. And this is analyze the provided article and extract 2 to 3 key phrases that capture the main topics or themes and do research on them. Use these to improve the quality and accuracy of your search. So basically this Perplexity module right now is just enriching the data from the OpenAI news article. It's doing extra research for us that we don't have to do ourselves, finding on related topics and themes and related articles. And then it's actually kind of, again, enriching that information from the article with anything else it finds that's current and relevant on the internet. Want to use the extracted phrases to perform a search, want to identify relevant and up-to-date insights, present these insights or facts in a clear, concise manner, use no more than 30 words per point. And in the article, we're just going to go ahead and delete that because what we want to do is we actually just want to grab the text from the text parser and plug that in and click OK. So once again, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to run this once just to show you the output. And Perplexity is doing its research. It's really incredible. Like you can use this for so many things. It's basically just an AI virtual assistant for you. And look at that. It's already done really quickly. Just going to go ahead and here, come down to usage, come down to choices, message, content. Now you can see key phrases and themes. 1, education data accessibility, GPT-4 powered research, state assessment data repository, and then it gives us some more insights and cites the sources for us so that we know it's all legitimate. Really pretty incredible, amazing how fast it does that. So if we come back to the original integration again, we can see the next thing we want to do is create a summary, and then we're going to create our Twitter post and get this all over into Airtable. So I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to connect this up to ChatGPT, and I'm going to go down to OpenAI. And what I want to do in this case is message an assistant. Now, assistants work really similarly to the way that prompts work, but assistants are really cool because that if you're using the same assistant across multiple scenarios, anytime you update that assistant, it's going to ripple across and it's going to update everywhere. So this is evergreen. You don't have to go back through and update prompts and type new prompts. It's just going to exist. And so I'll leave a link in the description again to where you can find this just on platform.openai.com. And if I go into my assistants here, you can see I have so many assistants, research agents, viral hooks, YouTube summarizer, all these things for you. In this case, we want to use this one-liner assistant here. You can go ahead and see the objective is to generate a brief and captivating summary with a maximum length of 50 characters based on the provided article data. The summary should be impactful, informative, and capture the core essence of the content. Then we give it some instructions on how to focus the content, how to analyze the data, and then how to craft the summary. Some more specifics about this. Use strong direct language and avoid filler words. Ensure it's engaging and informative, clearly reflecting the article's main message. This summary should intrigue readers and encourage them to explore the full content further. Again, make sure it's only 50 characters. It's just a really short summary for us so that we know what the article is about at a quick glance. So this is the assistant that we want to talk to. And again, this is really easy to set up. We've created the assistant module with ChatGPT, and we can come down here since our API is connected, and we can just use this one-liner agent, It's really simple. And you can see here that if we go to the summary, literally all I have in this module is literally just the text from the text parser, nothing else. Super basic. So with this message, I'm literally just going to click this text. That's it. That's all I have to do. We just want to make sure we continue to name everything. So I'm just going to type that one line summary. Go ahead and click OK. And we can run this once again just to see. The other thing that we can do is we want to just run that one module. So we can just come down here just to show you guys and grab the content that's in here and just grab all of this. And if we come down here and click run this module only and just paste in that text, again, this is when we run the full scenario, it's going to grab the text straight from the thing. This is already done. If you click into this, you can see the result, instant insights with GPT-4 Education Data Assistant. Really quick summary. Again, we can give that assistant anything that we want. So that is working awesome. So now the last thing for us to do is really just to create the Twitter post. Again, this is using an agent that I created just for Twitter posts. If you join the school community, I'll leave all the instructions for that agent for you. So you can literally just copy and paste it into OpenAI and you can have that agent just for yourself to use without having to do all the work yourself. The other thing that I'm going to leave is this actual make scenario for you. So that really you can just come in here and you can click import blueprint and choose the file and click OK. Click save, and basically here you go. This whole thing is already going to be populated. It's already connected. It's already all filled out. All the assistants are connected. You're just going to have to connect to your own APIs on your own end, but really cool. The last module we need, we could just create a clone of the summary to create this Twitter post. It's the same thing. If we pop back into our assistants, I have this Twitter bot. Act as an informed Twitter expert in the AI industry. You'll be provided with a piece of content. You'll create 3 optimized Twitter posts based on that content, and then some rules for it to follow. Basically, we're just messaging that assistant, and we're giving it the article and all the additional research. And basically, we can just connect this up again just to show you guys how to do that. The article, again, is coming from the text parser, and the additional research is coming from Perplexity. So if we come down to choices, message, content, we can just click that there and click OK, and we are all set up and ready to go. Really incredible, really fast. So the last thing we need to do is we need to get these outputs over to Airtable for us to look at. Now, if you really wanted to, you could just change the Twitter agent so that it only outputs one post, and you could just post that directly to Twitter if you don't want to bother reviewing it. If you don't care what it puts out, you can just post it and then be done with it. And then you could run this, whatever, every day, however often you want it, and just have a new post every single day go out without you even having to look at it. But I want to be able to create a few more posts. I want to be able to schedule them, and I want to be able to approve or reject them. I also like the idea of it creating 3 different posts for me to kind of look through and approve, because sometimes, the results are better. Some results are better than others. And so I want to kind of just make sure that I'm able to pick what they are. And so we've gone ahead and connected Airtable. And if you don't know Airtable, it's really similar to kind of like Google Sheets. I just think it's a really nice and clean way to work. I'm going to go ahead and clear out some of these other things that I've done before, just so we can kind of start fresh. I'm just going to delete these records. And basically the way we want to do this, so basically what you can do if you're at home, you can just go ahead and click the plus, and we can say create together. We can go ahead, click create, and do start from scratch. And now here we go. We have this whole table, and we just want to go ahead and we can start labeling things. Again, I like labels, so we'll stay really nice and organized. And I can just Twitter together. And of course, we want to come up here and find our little happy chick there. And I think we should make it yellow because Twitter is yellow. I mean, X, excuse me. Table 1 is fine. And we basically are just going to copy these fields that I have here. So we have the URL, we have the summary, the additional research, the actual posts, and then these last 3 are really integral to make this as powerful as it can be. Check this out. It's actually pretty crazy. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy and paste these in if we want. We can go ahead and start first post. We can edit this and we can call it URL with the chain, and we can change this to a URL. Save, and we have summary. We can actually get rid of this assignee field because we don't need it. And if we keep going back and forth, we have research and posts. So let's just go ahead and create 2 more copies of these. And we'll call it research. Duplicate one more time. and we'll call it post. Now, the last two fields that you're going to need are actually really important. This is what's going to allow us to read from this table and get the most recent posts that we've created in here. And this is what's going to allow us to schedule things. So we want to make sure that we have these last two, created time and last modified time. This is really important when we hook up the Airtable API. So if we go into created time, so I'm going to move my face out of the way. Sorry about that. I'm going to go ahead and search for created time, create this field, and one more. We want last modified time, and we'll just name that as such. So essentially, we are all set up and ready to go. What's so cool about this is now that we've connected this here to Airtable, you can see when we connect Airtable, it's going to unlink this for now so you can see what it looks like from scratch. So if we go ahead and go to Airtable, what we're going to want to do is click create a record, right? Because we're going to be taking this data and we're going to be writing to Airtable. And we have our Airtable connection. We can find our Twitter base. We can find the table, table 1. Now you can see these are all the fields that we put in: URL, summary, research, post, status. Basically, we just need to connect everything from this chain of events and plug it in here. So for the URL, we're going to come down to the RSS feed and grab the URL. For the summary, we're going to get the result from the summary agent. For the research, we're going to get the additional research from the Perplexity research agent. And the actual post, we want to get the last results from these Twitter posts. And that's it. So we're just going to go ahead and click OK. And I'm going to run this once. So we're going to let this do its thing. Right now, you can see it's doing the additional research, it's scouring their web. It's really incredible. What we're going to set up next is really where the true power comes in. This is going to allow us to schedule our posts and create multiple posts a day just by watching this Airtable record. I'm going to show you how to make this really effective for you so that you also have total control over what actually gets sent out. So here we go. Everything posted. If we pop back over, you can see here's our entry. If we open this up, we have the URL for the article. We have the summary. We have the additional research, and we have 3 Twitter posts. Zelma uses GPT-4 to bring education data to life. It standardizes and analyzes state assessment data to provide tailored insights for parents, teachers, and policy makers. Then it ends with the CTA. How can this change education in your area? This encourages engagement. So we have 3 different posts. I'm not going to read through all of these. And let's say we like the last one. What we can go ahead and do is we can go ahead and just delete the other ones. If we wanted, we could move those to a row below, and we can just go ahead and click OK. So I actually have my scenario set up because I imported the old one to return 2 items here, but this is actually really good. I'm going to show you why this is so cool and the power of this RSS feed right now. So check this out. Not only can you get multiple posts and create multiple entries, but you can actually pull from different sources by using RSS bundles. So remember how we created RSS feed just from this OpenAI blog? But say, what if we had this news source, artificialintelligence-news.com. And what if we had anything news from MIT or news from the Wall Street Journal? We have all these sources we want to use. Well, check this out. We can come back into the RSS. We can click new feed. We can post in this link for artificial intelligence news. We can go ahead and we can generate a new XML, a new feed. I don't know why this doesn't work the first time. If somebody knows, please let me know in the comments because it's kind of annoying, but I guess it's fine. So here we go. We have a brand new feed. And I'm going to go ahead and click Save Feed. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go over to bundles. So I'm going to add a bundle. Here are some of the feeds I've set up before, but I can set up AI news and the news from the OpenAI blog. And I can just go ahead and click Next. AI news. That's what I'll name this bundle. And I'll click OK, great. And this is set up. And now what's really cool, you can see we have news from AI news, sovereign AI gets boost from NVIDIA, and this Zelma article coming from the OpenAI blog, as well as more news from the AI news website. It's all compiled into one feed. So instead of pulling from one source, we can pull from a bunch of sources. And again, we can add as many feeds as we want to this bundle. So if we wanted to add the Wall Street Journal in here, we can. And now we're pulling from all these things. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy the bundle XML, and we're going to come back in. And in our RSS feed, instead of the URL from just the OpenAI feed, we're going to paste in the XML for the bundle. And now it's going to return 2 items for us. We can have this 3, 4, 5. We're going to click OK. This is great. Now what we're going to do is we're going to hop over to scenario number 2, and I'm going to show you why this is so cool and so powerful. So what this is doing is it's watching our Airtable. It's watching for us to add records, and then it's creating a post for Twitter and it's sending it live. But the magic is happening actually at the end here, because what's happening is as soon as the post gets posted to Twitter, it's changing the status for us. It's changing the status from approved to posted. And why this is really cool, because now what this lets us do is this lets us set up some filters so that we can actually schedule our posts to run every hour, every 15 minutes. So we could populate this Airtable data with like 100 posts, and then we can just have it run every 15 minutes and not worry about having it post the same thing twice. Really, really powerful. So let's go ahead and let's set this up. It's actually really simple. There's one thing I forgot to do here in our status, which is just going to allow us to make this really clean. So I'm going to come in here, I'm going to edit this field, and instead of to do, in progress, and done, I'm just going to say declined, approved, obviously green, and this we'll just say posted. And I'm going to change this from yellow and just make this purple, drag this to the bottom, decline, approved, posted. Those are our fields. Really great. All set up, ready to go. I'm just going to go ahead and delete everything in here, and I'm going to start from scratch. So the first thing we need to do is we need to set up Airtable, and what we want to do is we want to watch records. It's connecting to our Airtable. Again, this is our Twitter base. Table 1. And now we need the trigger field. And so the trigger field is we actually want to use the last modified time. This allows us to pull from the most currently changed ones, which will likely be the ones that we've approved. And we want to make sure we're looking at the status here. And the maximum number of records to return, it can be the latest 10, it can be 100, whatever you want. This is fine. Don't worry about view. Don't worry about formula. Let's click OK. And we want to choose where to start from now on. So specific date, all. Let's go ahead and choose all and click OK. Now we're all set up to watch Airtable. So what I can go ahead and do is I can run this once, let this cook, and then we can come back here and we can see the results that it grabs as soon as this is done completing and uploading those records to Airtable. So right now you can see we have these 2 in here from before, and as soon as the scenario is done running, you're going to see the third one populate. So let's just give that a second to cook. We're over here, we're creating our Twitter post. This is about to go over to Airtable. Done. Here we go. Here's our third one. NVIDIA boosts sovereign AI with new microservices. This is really great. If we come into our scenario, we can go ahead and we can run this. And now we can see we've gone ahead and pulled all 3 URLs from the Airtable itself because we set this up to run all time. Really cool. Let's keep going. Next thing we want to do is we want to connect this to Twitter or X. What we want to do is we want to create a post, and the text content of this post is just going to be the post from our field in Airtable. That's it. We're done. Really easy. Again, I'm going to give you this scenario in the school community. So all you have to do is go ahead and import, and this will run perfectly for you as soon as you connect your accounts. Now, check this out. What's really cool is we actually now have set up a way for us to have control over what gets posted. We don't necessarily want to post everything, right? So we can go in here, we can change our posts. This last one, again, we have 3 different possible tweets. Let's go ahead and we'll just remove these last 2. This is great. Yada, yada, yada. Say we want to decline these first 2, and we want to approve these next 2. Approved, and I think we're going to need to come in and edit these as well. So let's just remove those last 2. NVIDIA's new NIM microservices, simplifying generative AI for regional models, covering Japanese and Mandarin. What impact will this have on local AI developments? Great. So what's really cool now is our integration is actually only going to look for posts that approve. But first, we got to set up this filter. So we'll click the little wrench, we'll click set up a filter, and we'll click approved for the label ? So our condition is the status contains case insensitive, and we want to contain approved. So the only way it's going to pass any content from Airtable to Twitter is if we've approved it. So we can go ahead and click run, but what's going to happen right now is it's actually going to post both those posts that we approved, and we don't want that. So what do we have to do? we have to change the status after it's posted. Because remember, it's only going to post things that are labeled as approved. And so if it's not labeled as approved because we've changed the status, it's no longer going to post it. So we just need to add one more thing here, one more Airtable module. And what we want to do is update a record. So we pop in here, let this cook. We'll go into our Twitter base, go to our table 1, and our record ID. We just grab the record ID here from this first one, Airtable. And what we want to do is we want to change our status here, and we want it to say posted to match the status to match the label that we put in Airtable. And we're going to go ahead and click OK. Really, really cool. The last thing we need to do is we actually need to go in here and we need to change this limit to 1. Otherwise, it's going to post everything that we have listed as approved, and we don't want that. We actually just want this to post 1 post at a time, and this will allow us to schedule things. So what's really cool is let's go ahead and let's click run once. We can go ahead, boom, boom, boom. We can pop over to my Twitter page. And if we go ahead and refresh this page, you can see up at the top here, NVIDIA's new NIM microservices, simplifying generative AI, posted 10 seconds ago. Really cool. And if we go over here, the other cool thing in our Airtable, now the status has said posted, and this last one is left for approved. So what does that mean? There's one more step to make this all work and be totally automated. What we can do is we can change the setting, and we can say this, set this to run. Let's say we want to post every hour. We can click OK. This is going to run every hour, and we can just set this to on. And now we're good. This is going to run every hour. This scenario will run every hour. It'll look at our Airtable record. It'll find the most recent modified post labeled to approved. It's going to post that to our Twitter account. And then it's going to change the status to posted. So that way it doesn't post it again later on. Really incredible, really powerful automation. And you can see that with very minimal effort, you can grab sources from all over the web, combine it into one RSS feed, and create hundreds and hundreds of Twitter posts. And what's great is you can do what I did. You can go in, you can select the post content, you can edit as you want before actually clicking approve, which gives you total control over everything that goes out. So if you found this helpful, please like and subscribe and join my Skool community if you want access to the prompts that I use for the agents, as well as the blueprints here that I use to create these scenarios.